My name's Riva Fuzar, and this is my term project for 15112, Fundamentals of Programming and Computer Science at Carnegie Mellon University. For my term project, I created an interactive game which implements music that you can create on your own through the built-in music creator that's within the program I made. Let me just go ahead and run it. So it opens up on a screen where you can either choose to create your music, you can start the game that I made, which I'll go into later, or you can have a tutorial for the game. Let's go ahead and start the music creator. So as you can see, you can click to add notes, and you can choose whether like A or B or C or through G. And say I want a D with, then after that you can choose like the type of note, which is like a quarter note or a half note or whole notes. And we can add 3 Ds, and then through, when I click on the play music button, Pi Audio, which is a module that I used within my project, will analyze the sounds that I played, and it'll play back the recording. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's like pretty basic stuff. Then you can also, there's also a feature where you could save and upload songs. So let me go back here. So if I want to have 3 Ds, then I can save that, and it'll upload, it'll ask me to enter my file name. So I'll save it as like G, and I'll go ahead and save it. And you'll see it'll show up in my, right here, like the note list and the note type list, which is how my variables are stored. Additionally, you can also upload songs, where, let me close this again, and you can upload the songs that you have previously created on the app. So for example, I'll load the file that I just created, and it'll take a while, but I think by the end of the video it'll be loaded because Python 2 runs kind of slowly with these things. Another part of my project, I'll go into the game part now, where you can also choose, to use the song that you made within the game. So if I go into create my music, I can choose to use this song that I made within the game that's in the program. So there's 3 different difficulty levels, where easy, medium, and hard. And let's start off with easy. You can also do single player. I'll go into each of these 3 later, but you can also do a single player mode. You can battle the computer, which is an AI CPU player, and you can also do multiplayer mode. So here you can see the music that we just created, and like random notes will, let's go into the tutorial actually. So random notes, the target notes will appear here, and random notes will float over here, and you have to hit the correct one, which is the one like in the order of the sheet music that it appears. And if you hit the wrong one, you'll lose a life. You can also use your arrow keys. If you're playing single player mode, you'll use your arrow keys to move the green player, and if you're playing in multiplayer mode, you can use the AWSD players to move the other player, AWSD keys to move the other player, and you can also use the spacebar to shoot the enemies. And if you kill the enemies, you earn a life, but if you hit the enemy, the game ends. So let's go ahead and start the mode with single player. So I'm using my arrow keys right now, and I also implemented, within each level of difficulty, there's like a basic implementation of machine learning, where the program is like, so as of right now, like the program's constantly analyzing like my score and how fast I'm going, and the number of deaths I've incurred so far, and it'll speed up the notes depending on that, and like slow down the notes depending on how many, like my deaths and my score. So I just hit the space bar, which will shoot one of the enemies. And for example, you can see up here, my first note that I want to hit is an F. So I will float up here, and I'll hit the F, and you can see that it moves on to the B. So let's see, if I hit the wrong note, then I just lost a life. And if I end up hitting the enemy, then it's a game over. So there's also the CPU player. So let's try the hard CPU. So when you're battling the computer in hard mode, it is impossible to beat the computer, or it's not impossible to beat the computer, it's more like the computer is invincible so that the computer can't be killed by enemies, but they can still lose lives if they keep hitting the wrong notes. So it's a little bit harder, obviously, because it's hard mode, but we'll see. So we're both on, like, the first note that we have to get is the C. So now you'll see that the computer player is invincible, and it's moving towards the note that it has to. And also, the enemy won't kill, like it won't be killed by the enemy. So I just hit the C, so now we're both trying to get the A, and I just hit a couple wrong notes. So I just lost a few of my lives, and currently, if I hit the, so I can go over the hill. So there's also like hill physics going on here, where I like analyze like the location of like the stick man and like put it in contrast comparison to the hill, and yeah, that's about it. There's also multiplayer mode where let's try like medium level multiplayer. So it's basically like you move the keys with the left and right, and AWSD, and then X to shoot for the pink guy. And yep, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.